Well, Dr. Rutherford wanted me to plead the case for freedom for Jane Bryant and her children. When I heard the name Robert Matson from Dr. Rutherford, I was troubled and heavy-hearted. I told him that I would have preferred to be on his side, because that was the crux of the matter, whether the Bryants were free people or slaves. The suit that Ashmore and Rutherford had going against them from Matson, that depended on the question of whether they were free or slaves, because Ashmore and Rutherford couldn't interfere with Matson's property unless it were his. Unfortunately, Linder had already enlisted me on Matson's side, and I told him I could not help him nor even discuss the case with him unless and until I was formally released by Matson and Linder. Dr. Rutherford took my refusal of his case very ill. He took it personally, and he said some very intemperate things. I tried to tell him how that in our adversarial system, the devil himself would deserve an advocate if we ever got him into court. And I also told him that my representation of a man in court did not mean my personal approval of his conduct. But he wasn't having any of what I had to say. His blood was up, and he left mad. After no little persuasion, I obtained my release from Linder and Matson, and I sent word to Dr. Rutherford of my liberty and my offer to help him. Dr. Rutherford refused my help very roughly, and my relations with Dr. Rutherford have never been as cordial since that day as they were before. Now it was my turn to be hurt and angry. Here I had gone out of my way to get on the side of the angels, and the chief angel had refused me. Part of me wanted to take Matson's side just to fight Rutherford. What ought I to do? Ought I to take no part because I had spoken with both sides? I took counsel with Judge Treat, and Judge Treat told me he saw no reason for me to stay out of it entirely. He said he would prefer that I did appear for Matson. That way, both sides would each have 2 lawyers, and no one could say that Matson were inadequately counseled.